Hello, and you're here with Data Science Teacher Brandyn, and you're joining me for our real data analysis project. Okay, so this is from, I had asked for opinions and thoughts about what I should be doing for my next guided project on Google Forms, and I got a lot of responses. This is from a little while ago, but I thought it would be fun to go through with pandas, and it was actually very insightful for myself as well. Just going through and writing the notes, the observations, and kind of compiling all the things that you see. So, getting started. Okay. So, dun dun dun, connecting. This is taking a long time. Okay, and so I have the data set in my GitHub reservoir as well. So it'll be to load up the data. Okay. So looking at the shape, so we have 61 respondents with 15 different questions. These are kind of the questions. There's one I asked for some really serious improvement in questions and no one responded to me. So not all of these have one, and there's actually a couple. There's a couple I think that don't have any responses, but that's okay. So we'll explore the other ones, and I think the rest of the answers were quite helpful. And I think I learned a lot about how to help improve my type of questions and the way that I ask questions. So it's just helpful in many kind of aspects doing this type of thing. And I think that sharing those insights with your business partners is also very valuable learning experience and really how you can provide value to your business partners. Okay, so here we're going to start with value counts, and then parentheses. And we're going to find here, there's only one response, so it's very nice. At least someone, I think you appreciate the one person that tried here. I wish more people had given me more thoughts, but here I have used, this is a bad question, so this is a very good learning experience, and I could have asked this question better. And so then I just wanted to check, because like, what's going on? That's kind of weird. I'm not seeing anything. And so then we're going to sum this. So is null sum. And I get 60, out of the 61 rows we have, 60 of them are null. So no one liked this question. And good learning experience for me. So okay, got that all figured out. Going to plot now the question, what discipline most interests you? Okay. So here what we're going to use is we're going to use a count plots. We're going to use Seaborn count plot. We're going to go plt.ticks. Oops, ticks, spell ticks correctly. Ticks. And then rotation equals to 45. And we'll go plot dot or plt dot title. Okay. You don't have to go show. Oh, and I forgot to do some of the other things right here. So we got to do also font size. Very important to do all of the nuns. That's why I like nuns, because they're blue. It should be very obvious to know what we're doing here. And this one is a weird name, so font size and then font weight. I don't know why it's weight. I think it could be a better name, but it is what it is. And then you change the title. I'm just, I think, adding a little bit, making it a little bit more obvious as a title should be. It's a little bit better. And here, just to note as well, what I'm doing is /n/n. So line break before, line break after the title. It gives a little bit of space before and after. It just truly makes it look a lot nicer. I think so it's not so scrunched up. So just putting a little bit of extra thought into our graphics today, because we're probably going to be presenting this to business partners, and so we would want these graphics to look nice as we put them into a presentation. Okay. So here what we're going to do. So I like to start off, so going on to the next one. So what has been your favorite guided project so far? If I look at this, value counts is a good way to start off an object column just to see what we have there. We have a whole bunch of stuff. So this is going to be very difficult to deal with as it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the next line right here, I'm going to go str. So column name equals df column name str, so string str split. Okay, and I'm going to split on the comma space, and this is because these were different choices and you could choose as many as you wanted. This is a semi-structured data set, and so that does not work well just in a pandas data frame, so we're going to have to explode it and basically for every observation, we're going to create, so if the row has two different observations in it, or the column, let's say two different projects, it's going to create a second row, repeat everything, but one is going to be LSTM and one is going to be Ukraine, and then a third row would be this, and so on and so on. So it does make more of the other rows, but that way then we only have one value per row, and we could do something like some very simple like value counts and see how many we have of each one of these. Okay, so this is the problem with semi-structured data. It just does not work. You wouldn't think that the data frame is so important, but the data form is like, it's like Jesus basically. It's the holy grail for data science. Okay, so here we do df dot explodes. Okay, and here we're going to do our guided project and do our shape. So you see we went from 61 to 135 now. So all those have different ones, but now we can actually work with the data because it's in a structured format. So here we'll do value counts, and just to show what this does, so just to show what this does, value counts looks like this, right? And so this is really nice to do the index. One of the things I think you'll find is it's very hard to tell if there's white space, especially with a survey, a response where people could fill in their own answers. There is white space sometimes. You can see here, I'm new here. There's definitely some white space there. And so to replace these and to group these into a smaller number of usable amounts, what I would do is I would need to understand if there's white spaces. What we're going to do is we're going to build a list of these and we're going to put them into groups together and then look and analyze those. So I started just really kind of a manual process here, but what I did was I built a list of I'm new, so people that thought they were new, and others, and to the question, what has been your favorite guided project? So I'm new or others, because there's some random ones here that you just put in here. And to build those lists, don't worry, you don't have to. And then what we're going to do is we're going to replace, and we're going to replace the whole list, I'm new, list, and we're going to replace that with a string new. So everything in that list, we're going to replace the new, so just kind of reducing it down. And if we look here, we see our plot and we see our new and other, the two other ones that we just kind of brought those into a smaller group here. And we can see that the Google stock market prediction, the LSTM, has been by far the most popular, which is good. I had lots of fun in the CFA, and so I spent a lot of time on stuff like that, and I have a lot of more fun and ways to expand that with the functional model. So stay tuned. And the Ukraine war, which I really think is cool, that one turned out really nice. I'm really happy about that one. And the drug patents, that's definitely just a fun one. Okay, so getting into the next, what would you like to see in the next guided project? And so kind of starting off the same way, let's do a value underscore counts and index here. Just to do the same thing again. I found a little bit, you could start off with value counts and then maybe just add index. You get a few easy ones away, but you will see there are quite a few with white spaces. And this was a big thing, so I just went through it and I built quite a few more lists. So here I like ML, like data analysis, like marketing, healthcare, finance, crypto, deep, and other. So this was a very manual process, but I did it and I went through it because I really wanted to understand what my followers, my fans, people that were using the stuff that I'm making. I wanted to see what you guys want more of. And so here I'm going to go like underscore ML. So just to make sure I'm explaining what I'm doing as well while I'm talking. So here I have those lists, and the first one replace dot replace, and then I'm going to replace everything in that list with ML, data analysis, and every single one of those. The next we're going to make a graphic. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we spend a little bit of extra time than just using just the super default Seaborn plug here. What we're going to do is we're going to make a figure to make it a little bit more spread out, a little bit more space. So easier to read. So figure, and then we're going to do SNS dot, this is a count plot. And then we're going to do plot dot x ticks in the next one. And we're going to do rotation 65. And then plot, and the last one, plot plt dot title. It's good to say plt, not plot, I found. Oh, and here we're going to do x ticks. It's plural, obviously, because there's more than one. I need the Python is very strict with that rule. If there's more than one, there's usually an s on the end to signify that is an iterable variable or something along those lines. But Anyway, so it usually is good to remember putting the S because there's more. So should be obvious. Okay. So here in the next one, we're going into the next project. So fave project, and let's just see. So here we saw that the next guided project, others, so but data analysis, and then followed by deep learning and ML and deep learning next. So that's good. I'm gonna make lots of those. And here's another data analysis project, a data analysis project as we are working on right now. So I hope this is a fun kind of more practical, maybe a little bit more tedious and less. Sometimes I guess you could say it's less fun, but it is really good to practice with real data because it just is unfortunately harder. But really, what you're going to be doing in real life harder than Kaggle data sets, which are really quite easy to work with. Even the dirty ones are quite easy. Working with real data has its own kind of quirks to it and stuff. So it's a good practice. It's doing the same thing that I had here. I had a semi-structured list in here. So I got to make it into a list first with this dot split, and that's making it into a list. Then this would basically just have square brackets around it, but it's going to be a list now of these. Then I can use df dot explode in the next line and explode that. Do the same thing where I did, where each one of these we're going to get a new row for NLP and prediction and then NLP sediment, and there's going to be all of the same data in the rest of the row going to be duplicated, except for in this column it's going to be these two different values, and another one for machine learning, another one for machine learning clustering, and so on. So we'll go through each one of those. And it does make here, you can see we get quite a few more rows. We get 187 rows, which is a whole bunch. But now we can actually study this and understand it because it's now structured. And structured is our friend dealing with anything data related. Structured data is a pain in the butt. As you can see, it's quite a bit of extra work to deal with. It's just to analyze this column. So here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to create a figure, plt.figure, SNS. Oops. What did I just do right here? That is definitely going to give a warning because I'm not. Okay, so figure, go to the next one, and this is going to be a count plot. And data x color, and we're then going to go plt.x ticks. It must remember the s this time. And the next one plt. And you can, if you want to, do plt.show. What happens? Difference. I don't generally do this when I'm working in a workbook, but it could make sense. You print the plot, you actually force it to show instead of just displaying the object in the final row, which is what a Jupyter Notebook does or Colab does. So what this is going to do is it's just not going to be showing the object anymore. It's going to actually be displaying the image. So it's going to get rid of this extra information about the object right here up above, which if you care, that works for here. So it cleans up. Now you don't have a little bit extra. I don't care that much, so I end up usually not using this. But if you want to write the extra line of code, it is a very short line of code, so it's not so bad. Okay. See here, let's go into the next one. So we're going to do ideal length of projects. Let's do figure again. Let's do count plots. This right here. And then we're going to do color. Okay. And then we'll do x ticks in the next line. And then we'll do plot in the next, or sorry, plt dot title in the next one. And just noticing here, I have another none value. Noticing those blue none values. I got a font weight that I got to fill in right here. One big bold, just give us a little bit more pizzazz. And then again, reminding that I have this line break, the /n before and after, to get a little bit more space up above. And it looks quite nice. You can do quite a bit more, but just keeping it reasonable. And really, the longer projects, I was really surprised by this. The longer projects are more popular, and I would have thought 10 would have been the most popular, but 30. So I started making them longer, and this probably going to be a little one as well. So went through that. Okay. And now going to the next one. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go hist. Okay, so sorry, I should explain this. So we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to reduce this down, replace 0, 0, all the ones that had 0 experience, and then all the ones that had 0.5 is going to be 0.5, replace 1, replace 2, replace 3, replace 4. And what I can do here, I just wanted to show, because this one I missed the first time that this had a white space. So if you want to comment this out, this is why I do the dot index, because you'll notice now you'll be able to see something that you would not be able to see before with the machine Python and machine Python, where it actually has the white space, and you can see that right here. So why it's kind of good. So let's comment out the one we're not going to use and do it this way. Okay. And here we're going to go turning it to as type flow. That's one thing we'll have to do. So then the next line down here, we're going to do plot. Is plot, title, and plt dot show down at the bottom if we want to. Okay. So here now we get a plot. Now we get and we can do the KDE in this and get the nice line right here. You get the kernel density estimation. Kind of get an estimation of the distribution of Python experience. So we do have some of my people that have followed this have been 5 years. Is really are actually really impressed with the experience, but a lot of people around, the majority of people around 1 year of Python experience, which is different than data science experiences. So let's expand this a little bit further. So doing the same thing for the sklearn experience column now, and then we're going to do in the next line made the lists, and we're going to replace the no x per experience with 0. Okay, 0.5 this one, and then we're going to do plt dot bigger and bigger size. Okay. And now we have this one. We have a lot less, more guaranteed, or more push towards 0 experience. Okay, let's see Pandas. So doing the same thing. Value counts dot index to get the real true string from this and making lists of those. We're going to replace the strings, replace string, and no expert. We're replacing the list with 0, and then we're using logos. So we'll set above first, and then we're going to change it to a float. And here in the next one, we're going to do his plot. And we're going to do bins equals 10, KDE equals true. And here we'll do LW for line width equals 3. And then we'll go line underscore KWS for keywords. And this is then going to change. We'll be able to change the line that goes through here and give it a little bit more thickness. That's equivalent to 5 right here. Okay. So then we'll do ticks and rotation as well. Okay. So doing the for TensorFlow, doing the same thing. Value counts x ticks. Building lists of those. I didn't need the 3-year list this time. And then replacing this. We've done that enough times. I think it's so tricky. Okay, so let's just do this plot one last time. So figure hist plot x ticks with the s right there, and then title. Okay, perfect. So let's and oops, sorry, there I want to move this first. There we go. We get the plot. And so here, what I'm going to do, Seaborn, and I also looked at Seaborn. There was no one answered the Seaborn years of experience question for whatever reason. I put it in a weird spot, maybe. So also learning experience for Teacher Brandyn, Data Science Teacher Brandyn. Okay, so here very simply, what I did was I put all of the plots that I did, all those 4 plots up above, I did, and really all I did, so that we don't have to do it all over again, is I added this ax equals x0, ax equals ax1, ax equals ax2, and here when I create this subplot, I'm going to create 4 positions, and I'm putting the Seaborn plot in that position, and I'm going to put in a Seaborn plot in this position, and I'm going to put in a Seaborn plot in this position, and that's how you control where they go. Okay, and then I'm going to call the access position dot set underscore title and put a title in for each one of those. The next really important thing here that I do is just fit dot or fig, so that I do the axis. All of this stuff is happening on the axis object. Then I do the figure object, and oops, and then I do the figure object. If I comment out this tight layout, just to show you what happens, it looks kind of ugly. I get scrunchy and stuff like that. So FitLight just kind of organizes it, makes it fit nice. Not so much tight fit as it makes it fit nice, cleans it up a little bit, and so now you can see we get much nicer graphics here. And perfect. So now we can see. Really, I have a lot of people that have responded to this have a lot more Python experience in general, and it seems like they're switching to or taking an interest in data science, which is really cool. We have some followers, and TensorFlow is really interesting, guys. So we're going to see a lot more videos of this. I have like a lot more followers that are interested in this, so that I keep having the excuse to make more videos and hopefully lessons around all of these pandas, sklearn, and TensorFlow in the future. So thank you very much for your time, guys, and I will see you next time. Have a great one. Bye.